I'd like to first start off with how my opponent tried to discredit my information. First of all, it was customers at the toy store, not the owners, that assumed it was a brothel. And not to mention the fact that in Rhode Island at the time, brothels, which are many times in Rhode Island considered spas or places like that, were legal at the time. So that was why, and since the customers assumed it was a brothel, that was what drove the store to relocate, which gives you no reason to discredit the information that I presented. As for also the discredit of the information on the Netherlands and the Dutch being in the windows, most of the brothels in Nevada are miles away from the city, which gives them no reason why they wouldn't be able to have people on display or for you to not be able to see the people. And then also on the where they stand on the safety issues, again, basically the panic button may not be accessible. What happens? Who's to say that a client doesn't grab a hold of the prostitute when the panic button is across the room? And then there's also the fact that the prostitutes get stuck there, and also there's the fact that the prostitutes have to spend anywhere from $70 to $130 out of their own money that they make as prostitutes in a brothel to be tested. Not to mention they have to wait 24 hours before working again. So every time they come back to the brothel, they have to be retested, wait the time. The people on the street prostitutes and the other women that don't want legal brothels or prostitution and brothels to be legal are going to be against that for that reason. And then I have an article by the Nevada Tribune. It says a study shows an alarm, going back to the trafficking and why it wouldn't work. It says an alarming amount of human trafficking and physical and mental abuse is associated with Nevada brothels. So that's another thing to consider why it won't work. And then again, for the location, I mean, you can make it to where there's zoning and it has to be far away like it is in Nevada. But how many of the guys that are looking for a quickie and they're committing adultery are going to go to the brothels, give up their credit card, give up their information, and all the information, sit there and get tested, when they can just go down the street, pick up a prostitute, and commit adultery in 10 minutes, give the girl $20 and get what they want. They're not going to want to drive to a brothel out of the city to go give up their information when they're committing a crime. And then as well as the advertising, or as well as the where it's at, in Victoria, there's advertising. In Victoria, Australia, there's advertisements that line the highway, offering women as objects for sexual use and teaching new generations of men and boys to treat women as subordinates. You have to look at the reasons it wouldn't work. It promotes sex trafficking. It expands the industry. The women, the prostitutes themselves, don't want it to be legal, and there's just too many there's disadvantages for it. The type of things that you'd be allowing is increasing the child prostitution and making it look okay for today's youth isn't something that we should allow.